who was morbidly obsessed with death and kissed both Beethoven and Schubert's skulls. Well, today I want to tell you about an Austrian composer by the name of Anton Bruckner. Anton was born in a small Austrian village in 1824. His father was a schoolteacher and also the church organist, and all was well until he was 13 and his father passed away. Now, of course, at this age, his father's death shaped who he was for the rest of his life, emotionally, spiritually, in every which way. After this, he was sent to go live at St. Florian Abbey. This was a huge old monastery with vast rooms and a big organ, and that shaped how he heard sound and how he felt about sound. So now Anton Bruckner grew up deeply religious, socially awkward, and always obedient to authority. And this is how he was for the rest of his life. I am not sure if it was because his father died at such a young age or if it was living in this vast old abbey, but somehow all this, he developed a morbid fascination with death. He reportedly measured coffins and he would ask to see the corpses, and he begged to be buried underneath the organ in the church. He was thinking about death, it seems, all the time. We also hear this in this music. Not only does he have a lot of funeral marches, not a lot, but he has funeral marches. He also has a lot of silent moments, just suddenly, just these long pauses. It feels like music was preparing you to go to the next phase. He also suffered from severe numeromania, counting everything. He would count his bars of music. He would count windows in a building. He would count leaves on the trees. Imagine that. He would count steps on a staircase. He could not stop counting. Everything had to have a place. Probably felt like he had no control younger on. I don't know. And he was trying to control his life. It got to the point where he had this belief that numbers held a moral and spiritual significance. And he would count everything and then write it down, notate it so that he had it. It was an absolute obsession. I imagine if he lived now, he would be diagnosed with OCD and maybe be able to get some help. Now, Bruckner never married. He died a single man, but not for a lack of trying. He proposed a lot of times. But it was never quite appropriate. These were often very young women, sometimes even teenagers. He may or may not know them very well. It doesn't mean that his proposals weren't in earnest. He would have loved to have married any of these women, but they was always rejected. And this, of course, fed into this deep insecurity he already had. It also reinforced his dependence on religion. Unlike many composers I've talked about, he was actually very late starting as a composer. Now, he was known as an organist, and he was known for his brilliant improvisation. He was a great musician. Nobody doubted that. But he continued to study composition. He knew it wasn't a strong suit. He even studied with much younger teachers. He really wanted to get to be great. But he struggled. When he first started writing symphonies, they were long. They were forever long. They were what was considered, or people said, spiritually overwhelming, and there was little to no structure in it and no cohesion. Vienna's music establishment, which was probably a bit snooty anyway, especially after Johann Brahms and his followers, they completely mocked and dismissed this poor Anton Bruckner's music. They accused him of incompetence, and this made him become even more of a perfectionism, which he already struggled with OCD. He would write a full symphony and then rewrite the whole thing again and again. So we now actually have some of his symphonies, several complete different versions of it. This fed into his self-doubt even more. Bruckner actually saw his music as acts of worship. He dedicated quite a bit of his music to the glory of God. His music is characterized by these massive orchestral forces and also long, patient build-ups, sudden, blazing brass chorals, and this profound silence. Where Wagner would have explored this at similar time, drama and psychology, Bruckner was exploring transcendence. Bruckner spent his final years still in Vienna, probably still revising, counting, doubting, and he passed away in 1896, before he had completed his Ninth Symphony, which was dedicated to the beloved God. Per his wishes, and I love this, he was buried underneath the organ at St. Florian Abbey, which is just a lovely way for him, because I feel like he struggled so much in his life. He was mocked. People thought he was awkward. He was turned down more than not. But after his death, his reputation actually grew quite steadily. So perhaps greatness doesn't always have to come with a ton of confidence or a ton of charm or pizzazz. It can come with charm and ease and just dedication and trying and trying. Go and listen to some Anton Bruckner.